I I am so embarrassed. Did that recover quick enough? It's saying it's still been over an hour. Did that recover quick enough that Twitch doesn't think the stream ended? Holy shit. The stream's up, right? Like, every... the stream's up, right? Someone in chat just tell me you're seeing this and hearing this. Holy shit, I'm so embarrassed. That was, oh god. I'll tell you what happened once I'm sure the stream's up. Oh no, yeah, OBS just, the Twitch stats just reset to say yes, this is a new stream. Fuck. Is the stream up? Is the stream up? Did people leave? The stream is shaky. But it, what? It's shaky, but it's up, right? Is there a problem? I'm gonna turn off the desktop audio so I can go to Twitch and check what's going on. There's a bit of delay, so right before I get there, words. Okay, seems fine to me. It's on and off. It's fine now. It went out and it came back because I'm a fucking idiot. This is so upsetting. I always talk about how annoying it is if the stream dies and it gets split up into two. The reason that I got so... like, that always annoys me, but the thing is, the stream didn't die this time. It ended because I went to click to open OBS to check something, and when I clicked to load OBS, I accidentally clicked the stop streaming button. Because I'm a fucking idiot. And then I instantly freaked out. If the stream hadn't, like, if you could see my reaction when it happened, I was like, oh shit, like I yelled really loudly, and then I quickly turned the stream back on. But now it's a separate thing. That's so annoying. Whatever. That's so dumb though. But it's good now. Is it stable? I'm very sorry, viewers. I'll get back to reading real quick. I need to check this one more time. That this stream's fucking okay. I'm freaking out. Words. Okay. And Toast says it's stable. Okay, that's good. I think we're good. Right. Lilia Akira. Akira, she's an interesting person, isn't she? She is. She's also really nice, though. Her suit makes her look a bit cool. Akira-chan, kakkoi. Akira-kun, kakkoi desu. I'm a little surprised you know each other well, what with her job taking up so much of her time. Hanako looks down a little and takes another sip of her drink. If I wasn't looking intently at her face, I'd miss the small smile perched on it. I guess when she knows so few people, those she knows must mean a lot to her. How many do you have? Me? About 9 or 10. I hesitate to go into them for fear of rubbing in the fact that Hanako doesn't have parents, or apparently even close relatives. Two of those are Shizune and Misha too, which is another can of worms. I imagine that Lily would have more than both of us put together, probably. Hanako gives a childish giggle, and I can't help smiling. It's a good feeling that she's gotten this comfortable around me. Times like this, I feel like I'm getting close to talking to a true self. Wonder how many numbers I have. It's probably less than fucking even the 10 that Sao has. Let's check. Time for era personal note. What have I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7. I have 7. I got my best mate, best friend ever. I've known him since grade 2. I got another really good mate I've known since grade 3. I have my mom. My dad. Take that back. I have 6. I got a friend of mine from the US who runs a website that I help moderate. And then I have a chick I met on Tinder once, but never actually met up with IRL. And that's everything. There are 3 other numbers, but they're not real numbers. 2 of them are the number neighbor meme that happened a while ago, where you contact your number neighbors. That's what those 2 are. And then also one's the Swinburne Medical Clinic from when I went to university. That's so fucking sad. Everyone uses... I use social media now, you know? I use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord to talk with people. I never use fucking text message. You don't need numbers nowadays. I like have my parents, and that's like all you really need. Anyway, Hanako gives a childish giggle, and I can't help smiling. It's a good feeling that she's gotten this comfortable around me at times like this. I feel like I'm getting close to talking to her true self. I may have read that already. Do you mind if I ask something that I've been wondering? Hanako shakes her head as she takes the last sip of her tea, finishing it off. You don't seem very jealous of Lily having lots of friends. Don't you want to make some more friends yourself, or get to know some of hers? I'm not jealous. I don't like people, so I don't mind not having many friends. That's really not the answer I was expecting. She doesn't look fearful or sad as she says that, but rather quite serious. Hanako rubs her arm awkwardly, having taken my quietness as a reason to continue. I'm not really sure what I should say, so I end up simply giving her my attention in silence. In middle school, I got bullied a lot. I was called names and got excluded from work groups and sport teams. There were worse things, too. That's what made you not like other people? She shakes her head. That was elementary school. I feel bad for bringing this up now. Adults have enough problems dealing with Hanako's scarring. Children would be all the worse. I'd assumed the way she tried to make her presence not felt she was just to avoid people staring at her, or because she was afraid of them. Certainly not because she genuinely didn't want to interact with them in the first place as well. Yeah, I'm super pissed off though. Now the stream's split in 2, even though it didn't die, it's actually holding up really well. In fact, I think the new stream has dropped more frames than the fucking last one had in its entirety. At least as a percentage, it has. That percentage will go down as we proceed, but... I noticed the condensation from my neglected smoothie forming a little puddle around the bottom of the cup, so I take the opportunity to finish it off. As I drink, she begins to fiddle with her phone. It looks like she remembered the people around her again and begun to tense up. It isn't exactly a cheap phone. I had to save up for quite a while to afford one when I got mine. If Lily went to a private school, she probably wouldn't have too much trouble getting one for a present, though. If Lily went to a private school. Watching her fiddle with it gives me an idea. Hey Hanako, wait for me, I'll be right back. I went to a private school. It's not as fancy as you non-private school people think it is. It's just a school. I put the new... I guess maybe it's the area that made it be still have dropkicks, though. It was a primary school, but it was a primary school in Berwick and Beaconsfield, of all places. I put the now empty cup down, slip my phone into my pocket, and begin to move off, carefully stepping around the bag I've placed beside my feet. Thankfully, sitting around while talking to Hanako has helped me feel a lot better than before. Wait, what? Where are you going? Just stay here. I'll be back in a bit. As much as I'd like to have jogged back, I know full well that I couldn't. I end up walking back to the cafe, a little blue bag in my right hand. Hanako notices me quickly, looking about as confused as she did when I left. I deposit the diminutive bag in front of her and sit back down. Is this... It's for you. You can open it. But go on. She looks very unsure about it, but eventually gives in, slowly opens the bag, and picks its contents out. A silver chain phone strap dangles from her fingers, ending in a delicate flower. It isn't exactly a masterwork of jewelry, but it's about as much as I could afford. Hanako's eyes light up when she looks at it. It's the kind of reaction I was hoping for. Phone straps. I have 2 phone straps, but I don't use them on my phone. One is Hanayo Kozumi from Rubber Rival. One is Yui Hirasawa from K-On! And one of them's on my my keys, and one's on my iPad. The summer sun's light glints off the silver as it twists to and fro a little. It's not too ostentatious, but still looks a little charming. I think it sits so well. Hanako lowers the phone strap to the table and looks to me once more. But it's not Christmas or my birthday. It's fine, don't worry about it. I just thought it might be nice to have something to decorate your phone with. I don't have anything to give to you. I told you, it's fine. Friends can give things to each other like this sometimes, right? Friends. Hanako lowers her face so much that I can't see her expression. She eventually nods before taking her phone and fiddling with the strap to attach it properly. That's not how that works. That's not how phone straps work, is it? Don't you push the entire thing through that section and then, like, pull the entire chain through the loop and then tighten it? How would you detach it to then loop it through like that? Is that how they're meant to... Are you meant to, like, take it out and then put it back... What? Maybe that's how... Maybe... Is that how you're meant to do it? I didn't know you could do that. If that is the normal way. She looks at me and smiles as she holds up her phone, now adorned with a laugh. I'm not crazy, right? You usually put the whole loop through it, and then pull the charm like through it and tighten it like you're making a loop kind of thing, like you're making a knot almost. Like you put this entire thing through like that, and then this part goes through that, and then you like pull it so that this thing's like looped around it. That's how I always do them. Thank you, Sal. The smile proves infectious. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a couple getting up and leaving. That reminds me that the bus back to the town below Yamaku will be coming soon. I guess I'd better be going if I want to catch the next bus back to town. You coming as well? Yes. She hastily nods before calmly putting her phone back into her pocket and getting out of her chair. I do the same and pick up the bag I'd left beside me on the way out. We walk side by side as we make our way to the bus station, exchanging no words between us. Hanako's gaze is firmly locked ahead of her, though she looks very happy with herself. I'm not sure what I should say to her, but I'm also not sure that I need to say anything. The fact that Hanako is happy, and happy because of me, is enough to make the load on my arm feel light as a feather. Oops. Finally reaching the classroom after the usual walk from the dormitories, I step inside. My eyes immediately turn to the third seat from the left in the back row, Hanako's seat. It's empty, and after glancing around the classroom, it looks like she isn't here yet. The 2 girls from the newspaper club are here in the 2 seats to the left of Hanako's. As are Shizune and Misha, but that's about it. We exchange morning greetings before I take my seat. I have to admit that this is a bit of relief. This gives me at least a few more minutes to think. Not that I haven't been doing so previously. Ever since that trip to town, Hanako has been on my mind. I still don't know what to make of my relationship to Hanako. I like her, I can admit that much to myself. I want to protect and shield her from the pain she feels. I really don't think my feelings are just those of friendship anymore. But that said, I feel like I don't even know her. If I made a move on her, how would she take it? Is she in an emotional state that allows her to make a reasonable decision about a relationship? How would she cope with anything that might happen afterwards? There's also the possibility that I'm just completely misinterpreting Hanako, not a difficult thing to do with someone whose social skills seem to be so underdeveloped. The sound of footsteps comes up to the door, making me perk up. It's Miki. It ends up just being Miki. She barely acknowledges my existence. When I accidentally make eye contact with her, I'm about to look away, but another person comes in not long after she takes her seat. I feel myself freeze as I see Hanako enter. This isn't the rational reaction, but I have no idea about how I should act or what I should say to her. For a moment, our eyes meet. And then, just as quickly, she looks away and moves to her seat without saying a single word. She came and went like a thief in the night. Uh, as is now usual for the period following classes, my face is buried deep in a book that I find thoroughly uninteresting. Studying is not something that comes naturally to me. I didn't study a lot before coming to Yamaku, and until now I've largely managed to coast through on talent alone. It's frustrating that I can't do that anymore. Judging by the faces of the other few students in the library, I don't think I'm alone in my distaste for this. Misery loves company, I suppose. I decided to spend lunchtime with Hanako, since we haven't had lunch together for a while now. I may as well have spent the time studying though, aside from pathetically small snippets of small talk. There was barely a word said between us. Why does she keep doing this to me? I just want to protect her, to be there for her, but every time I feel like we're coming closer, we end up further away. Are you busy? Hanako. Nana whips around in surprise, causing her to retreat in fright. That was bad timing. If I hadn't been thinking about her at that very moment, I probably wouldn't have been nearly so startled. Sorry, you just startled me. I found myself staring at her longer than I should, so I go back to the text lying on the table in front of me. I feel more like I'm staring at the words rather than actually reading. I get the feeling Hanako can notice this as well, so I sigh and close the book. What's up? I was just wondering what you were reading. She looks a little downcast after my reaction to seeing her. Giving up on the prospect of getting any more work done, I get up and return the book to its place on a nearby shelf. Just an English textbook. Ego. Has it helped? I don't really realize that I don't like English. Yeah. Hanako gives a small giggle. I may muse on the strange state of our friendship, but I do know that such little gesture are things that I wouldn't see were I not at least some distance closer to her than when we first met. I look at her for a moment, thinking about what I do and don't know about her. It's a slightly depressing topic. Is something wrong? I don't know, I didn't pause between something and wrong. If I want to know more about her, maybe I should stop being so evasive about it. Talking with Lily as an equal, rather than being constantly in fear of causing her to become upset, worked fine, so I should try a straightforward approach with Hanako as well. Hey Hanako, do you mind if I ask you a question? I don't mind. I want to know what your life was like. Your life before coming to Yamaku. She hesitates. I briefly consider backing off, but she seems to be taking the question quite seriously. I sit and watch her, silently letting her take her time. She's not making eye contact with me and looks almost as if she's arguing with herself into letting herself open up to me more. Her answer finally comes in a stiff, almost reluctant nod. She looks far more tense than she did before I'd asked. Okay, but in return you have to tell me about your life as well. I know I didn't follow her. She begins to walk out of the library so we can talk. But now most of the students have already left the main building, so apart from a few people hovering around club rooms, the hallways are largely empty. I just realized this route is like... Well, first of all, it is shorter, it seems, even in dialogue, compared to Rin's. But it's also shorter in time period, I think. Because didn't... Like, Rin's, like, full on went up to, like, summer break and past it. Wait, this hasn't even reached a summer break, I don't think. Right? This route was long as shit, especially the second act compared to this one. I think the third was longer as well. By now, most of the students have already left the main building, so apart from a few people hovering around club rooms, the hallways are largely empty. I guess we'll start with coming to Yamaku. Let's see, I was in the hospital when my parents first told me about Yamaku Academy. The doctors told me I shouldn't go to my old school anymore. My parents agreed and persuaded me to apply for Yamaku, even though it would mean living away from them for the first time. It must have been hard for you. Well, yeah, I have to admit that it was. My parents both worked long hours and full time, so having to live responsibly, independently, wasn't anything new to me. It was the fact that I was going to a school for disabled students that hit hardest, I think. And you? A small group of chatting girls passes us as we near the stairs, with Hanako pressing herself tightly to my side until we reach the ground floor. She doesn't usually come that close while just walking in the school, so I'm left a little put off. The staff at the orphanage offered me some options on what I could do. Middle school hadn't been good, so I thought that Yamaku might be better. It was isolated, and I thought it might be easier to get by here with most of the others being disabled. It's pretty ironic that the reason Hanako was looked forward to Yamaku are the exact reasons I hated the idea. To me, it felt like I was being shunted somewhere away from society and everyone I knew. To Hanako, that was probably an inviting prospect. What was life like at the orphanage? It was okay. The staff there were nice, and they took care of us. The children there didn't talk to me much, but I didn't really want to talk to them either, so I didn't mind. The orphanage had a little library, so I started to read to pass the time. The staff didn't mind it because it made me easier to handle than many of the other children. You didn't make any friends there? No, I think my life was on hold during that time. I knew that, but I didn't mind. To think her life was on hold for all that time, though, depending on when the fire happened, that was a huge chunk of her life. No parents, no friends, apparently no relatives. We walk through the door into the courtyard. I expect... what? I expect to need to avert my eyes from the sun, but by now it's well into sunset. Hanako's eyes keep flicking to me, so I look away from her for a bit. What was it like in the hospital? I quickly clear my thoughts and try to refocus them. I hesitate for a bit, but I know that I have to tell her. We're close enough for her to feel comfortable telling me this, so it's only fair that I reciprocate. It was okay at times, but at others it was pretty bad. At the beginning, everyone sent their sympathies and came to visit often. It was just like breaking an arm or something. Meeting all my friends was one of the good times. Hanako came in often as well, more often than anyone else. There were bad times too. When my friends slowly stopped visiting, I began to realize how grave my situation was. It reminded me that this wasn't just a broken limb, but that I was now a different person than before. Even the times Iwanako would spend with me became torturous. By the end, we were reduced to silence, whereas before she'd be talking constantly. That's how Iwanako always was. She may have been a fragile person, but she would talk constantly to try and hide that fact. Not about anything in particular, just talk. I think the three lowest points would have been when my parents told me I wouldn't be going to my old school anymore, my birthday passing while in the hospital, and when Hanako left for the last time. We leave the school buildings behind us as we begin to follow the main path through the gardens. There may have been the odd bystander in the school buildings, but outside we're practically alone. What was your middle school like? I liked it. I grew up in a really metropolitan area, and the middle school was nearby, so it was pretty crowded. I didn't mind it, probably because I'm used to being in crowds and around lots of other people. Oh, the stream is getting dicey. It's getting dicey. It's getting dicey. Time to turn off the internet for my iPad to try and help. I got good grades, I played soccer with my friends, and I spent a fair bit of time hanging out with them after school as well. Did get teased a bit over my hair, though. Your hair? I grimaced a little as I put a hand over my hair to cover it. I had to keep getting tufts and strands that refused to flatten or stay where I wanted them, and my mother wouldn't let me just... Stop! Fucking OBS. Fucking internet, rather. And my mother wouldn't let me just get my hair shaved. It had a habit of popping out no matter how much I tried to brush it down. It still does a little. I was worried I'd get that reply. Sorry. I didn't mean to. I give a mild laugh and wave it off. Oops. It's fine. I know it still does. Feels strange to have someone act so interested in my past. If it were anyone else, I think they were just acting polite. But there's something I really don't think Hanako would do. Or if she did, she'd do it so badly that it would be obvious. There are no more girls in the common room on the ground floor, and Hanako presses herself to my side once more as we pass them. I expect her to break off. Stop! Fuck! Oh no. Stream might die. No? Is it back? It's back. Holy shit, it went to 0 for a long time, and outside of 0 it was like 90 and 70. And then when it came back, it only went to like 300 before going back down to 0. Fucking hell, why is the internet all over the place? It's gotten really shitty all of a sudden. It was really good for the first like hour and a half. There are a number of girls in the common room on the ground floor, and Hanako presses. Right, I expect her to break off, but instead she continues to cling on to me as we walk towards the stairway. Something about the way she's holding on to me feels different from the usual. Ah, shit. Sorry, that was probably really loud. Wild ride, yeah, pretty much. Sorry if that was super loud. I accidentally was checking something. Why did we come to your dormitory room? She looks straight at the door without so much as a glance in my direction. Hanako? She moves to answer but stops herself. Instead, she silently breaks from my side, opens the door, and steps inside. I look up and down the hallway, a bit lost as to exactly what I should do. Shrugging, I decide to follow her, since I don't have any reason to do otherwise. Hanako stands in the middle of her room and looks straight at me. It's unnerving when she does this, as it seems an unusual action for her. I open my mouth to speak, but she prompts me. Could you close and lock the door? Hanako's hands reaches for her chest, grabbing her blouse at her heart. Is this it? Is this the H scene? Turn and lock the door shut, then freeze. The atmosphere is beginning to feel quite strange. This feeling is almost made more profound when I hear the curtains being pulled behind me. Oh yeah, guess I'm gonna get some. It's gonna be night soon. We're a guy and a girl in a bedroom. She's closing the curtains and I'm shutting and locking the door. She can't really have that in mind, can she? I go up and turn around very, very slowly. Hanako is in the center of the room, but hasn't turned back to face me. You told me about your past, so I have to tell you mine. She takes a deep, shuddering breath and pauses for a number of seconds. Her hands move to a ribbon and begin to tug, all but confirming my thoughts. Hanako, please don't say anything. I obediently stay hushed as she slips off her ribbon and continues to unbutton her blouse before working the clip on her. If I go silent, it's because I'm freaking out that OBS is gonna disconnect. It's the internet shitting itself. Before working the clip on her bra. The process is slow, perhaps it just feels slow because of what she's doing, I'm not sure. Frozen into the spot, all I can do is watch as Hanako, hands trembling, unclips her skirt and lets it drop to the ground. Finally, she takes her blouse to her hands and draws it off, her bra falling from her shoulders, and so Hanako stands in the middle of the room, all but bared, save for her stockings and underwear. This is me. All of me. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scarring on her back. The skin on her right side is of a similar texture to that of her face, but it's also stretched, torn, and covered in much larger areas. The scarring is by far the worst on the shoulders, buttocks, and thigh. Just as my heart attack redefined my life, this is the event that redefined Hanako's. If I'd seen this when I first met her, I'd have been shocked, not only at the sight, but also at the idea that something like this was survivable. But after having had time to get used to the idea, and after seeing the scars on her face, hands, and collar, my reaction is more measured. My reaction right now is not due to her scarring, but to her body. The fire happened when I was 8 years old. It was night, and we were sleeping when it started. Hanako's voice trembles, the shaking of her blouse giving away the fact that her hands are doing just the same. I curled up into a bowl when the fire swept over me. My mother tried to shield me. That's the only reason I lived. Hanako's eyes begin to moisten, her voice cracking under the combined pressure of exposing herself to me like this and reliving those painful memories from so long ago. I want to say something, anything, to make her feel better. I can't, though. I feel completely useless when faced with a situation like this. She's forcing herself to come so close, yet it's at times like this that I feel most distant to her. I'm sorry for making you see this. There's no point in denying the obvious. I think that I should say now, and what Hanako wants me to say now is the truth. What I genuinely, honestly believe. It doesn't matter, you're a wonderful person, Hanako. Your body doesn't change that. She looks at me for a long time, her breathing uneven as she tries to remain steady. I dismiss the emotions we're both feeling. It feels less like she's looking at me than she's looking through me. I slowly walk towards her and gently place my hands on her shoulders as she lets go of her blouse. She gasps a little, not in fright, but in simple startlement. Being so close to her caused my mind to become a jumble of feelings. The scarring on her shoulder, plain to see and leather-like to the touch, conflicts strangely with the otherwise soft skin and silky dark hair. Hanako is a girl with all that entails. She's taller than usual for a woman, but still has curves in all the right places. The nape of her neck, just visible thanks to her hair slung over her shoulder, is alluring. I know that I'm not pretty like Lily. I just wanted you to see me. The real me. I've already seen the real you, though. You don't need to take off your clothes for that. Whoa! 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 I know that's loud. I have adult content turned off, game. God damn it. Hang on. Hang on. I need a... Fuck. What have I got? What have I got? Hang on. I got this. There we go. um, Her lips are open just a little. She lets out a sharp breath as, without thinking, I breathlessly lean forward and press my lips to hers. The kiss only lasts for a fleeting moment before our faces part, our breathing quick and nervous. The feeling of Hanako's mouth lingers and her eyes remain locked to mine. Damn, that's really full fucking on. I can still see it. It's just you guys that don't get to see titties. I have, yeah, disable adult content. Goddamn game. That's blocking it, right? It is. The kiss only lasts for a fleeting moment before our faces part, our breathing quick and nervous. The feeling of Hanako's mouth lingers and our eyes remain locked to mine. Yep, that's still good. Trembling a little myself, I remove the tie and begin undoing the buttons of my shirt. Hanako remains standing where she is, looking at the ground in front of her rather than watching me undress. On the one hand, I'm thankful for that. I've always been somewhat self-conscious of my body, but my scarring has made that quite a lot worse. On the other, though, this atmosphere feels very strange. It really is weird. You never quite get used to undressing in front of someone before sex. It's like, I don't know, it always feels uncomfortable if they watch you. It's like obviously it doesn't matter, but like before you really get into the moment, it's like everything's still awkward. So, my shirt falls to the floor in a heap, as untidy and crumpled as Hanako's blouse and skirt. Hanako's entire body visibly flinches at the sound of the zipper of my trouser being pulled down. My trouser joins my shirt on Hanako's floor next to the bed, as do my socks in short measure. I hesitate before taking off my boxers and end up leaving them on. They represent one last hurdle I don't think I can overcome quite yet. Sheer embarrassment stops me, along with not wanting Hanako getting even more worked up. My unease about the situation has also left me needing my own stimulation. Hanako? She gives a nod without so much as glancing at me, and makes her way to the bed as I do. She walks as if her legs were wooden sticks. I'd find it amusing if I weren't doing exactly the same thing. We can get rid of Monica now. I think. When day is dark, always remember happy day, everybody. Thanks, Monica, for protection. I take the initiative, turning around and sitting on the side of the bed. I look to her face to invite her to take a seat, either next to me or in front of me, but end up awkwardly looking down to stop myself from staring at her body. Oh, we don't get fish this time. We get, what are they called? Rockmelon? No. Rockmelon? Is it no, it's... What's that fruit called? What's that fruit called? What was that fruit called? It is rockmelon, but it has a different name as well, doesn't it? Oh, why can't I remember it? I'm looking up rockmelon. Cantaloupe. That's fucking it. Cantaloupe. And then after a couple of seconds, it ends. The sound of Hanako's breathing and my own rings in my ears, almost painfully loudly. Hanako holds an arm over her face, her mouth open and gulping in air. As I hold myself over her, suddenly my arms almost give way and my vision distorts, as if someone grabbed it and pulled sideways. I let myself fall sideways under the bed, beside the panting Hanako for fear of falling onto her instead. Hey, that's how I would always fall under my bed after sex. Just kind of push to the side and fall down because you're fucking exhausted. We both lie beside each other, naked and pressed against one another in order to fit onto a bed made for a single person. My eyes try to focus on the ceiling, to not much success. Pulling a blanket over us to stave off the cold is all I can do. The only sound in the room is that of our breathing. The sweat that had accumulated on my body feels uncomfortable. We're both physically and emotionally exhausted, and a complete mess all over. My vision slowly begins to return to normal as I continue to stare at the ceiling, but my limbs still feel like jelly. Try to concentrate on my chest and find its beat irregular and mildly painful. This is a dangerous time. I have to think this through and not panic, lest I make my situation any worse. I still run to the doctor. Look, I had sex and my heart's beating out of control. You gotta help me. With a huge effort, I take control of my erratic breathing, forcing myself to make long, deep breaths. I count half a dozen before I start to feel physically calm again and press my hand on my chest to assure myself. My heart beats back to normal. I'm okay. I turn my face towards Hanako, who's already looking at me. Her expression looks pretty dazed, but underneath that, there's definitely a look of concern. She's realized what's happened. This is a much safer CG than the last one, so show that. You can use it as a thumbnail or something for the YouTube video of this. I turn my face towards Hanako, who's looking at me. Her expression looks pretty. She's realized what's happening. I'm okay. Everything's back to normal. I found myself barely able to get the words out between breaths. I don't think sex would tire a normal body out this much, so I have no doubt my condition's at least partially at fault. Why did my body have to do this right now? Sex is kind of tiring. If you're a top like me, but yeah, not that tiring that your heart would hurt for a normal person. Just normal tiring. Normal tiring that, like, it's good to do before sleep, because then it makes you tired. All thoughts of my heart, though, are pushed aside as I see the wide smile forming on Hanako's face. As always, I smile back without another thought. Hanako's smile has always been infectious in its almost childlike sweetness and earnesty. Something that sets her apart from anyone else I know. Right now, we don't need words. Everything we want to communicate to each other, we can share just fine without them. My eyes feel heavy as they slowly open, the light from outside making me blink a bit to let... What? The light from outside making me blink a bit to let them get adjusted. My body feels like lead and my head feels just as heavy. Waking up to an unfamiliar ceiling is an uncomfortable feeling. It reminds me of the first time I awoke to the dimpled white tile ceiling of the hospital. Oh. It's only after spending a few seconds staring up at it that I realize where I am. This is Hanako's dormitory room. Feels though my heart stopped again as the events of last night rush through my head, blood rushes to my cheeks, and I shut my eyes once more. There's very little point to getting myself worked up this early though, so I try to push such thoughts out of my mind for now. I roll my head to the side to see if Hanako's where she was when I drifted off to sleep. All that's there now is an empty space on the bed and the room beyond. I sluggishly sit up and rub my eyes before pinching the bridge of my nose and looking around the room. The only person here is me. I'm still bereft of my clothes, and after a quick scan of the floor for them, I've never seen that word written out. Bereft. That like threw me off for a sec. I was like, what? But then I'm like, oh right, bereft. Never seen it written out. Only heard it spoken. I noticed that they're neatly folded in the corner of the room. Try as I might, I can't see Hanako's anywhere. The foil package for the condoms been removed to presumably put into the bin. With a great yawn, I get myself out of bed and quickly look for some underwear. I grimace a little at the prospect of putting my boxers back on after yesterday's efforts did a job on them, but I don't have much choice. Did Sal just fucking have condoms on him? He was just like... They went from the library, right? I mean, I guess it's normal to keep them in your wallet, but I don't because that's not a good thing to do. Don't keep condoms in your wallet, guys. The rubbing wears them out and makes them less effective. Taking advantage of the fact that I have some time without anyone around, I get myself dressed for the coming school day in short order. And then I'm alone. Without anything more to busy myself with, my mind becomes focused on the fact that I'm standing in another person's bedroom after we spent the night together, but there's not a single sign of her around. My gut proves to be more helpful than my brain at working out this riddle. With a loud growl, it reminds me that she may, well, just be getting breakfast. I would have liked to wake up next to her, but maybe it's a good thing that I have a few moments alone. The internet. Stop being so all over the place. Sal goes in raw. No, he doesn't. He literally said that was the condom package. Although it might effectively be going in raw if he's keeping fucking condoms in his wallet like that. Hanako's room is quite bleak in appearance. There are precious few decorations and practically no personal artifacts that aren't hidden away in cupboards or drawers. She's lived here for 3 years, but the room looks as if it's barely been occupied for a single day. I shouldn't overthink this. She might just like living this way, as some do. Having the ability to put such low stock in physical possessions does have its advantages, but even so, it feels a little disconcerting given her past. She said she viewed herself as having had life on hold while at the orphanage. She certainly lives as if she still does, but after what happened last night, it's pretty hard to imagine that she still thinks that way. The sound of the door handle cracks through my thoughts, and I turn to face it. Sure enough, Hanako comes through and shuts the door behind her. She has what seems to be 2 microwaved instant meals in her hand, so this is a little difficult. Good morning, Hanako. Morning. She gives a little bow before making her way to her desk, sitting down both plates. I can now see them to be small sauté dishes, their contents steaming with a fork stuck inside the rice of each. I give thanks to her for bringing them in as we each take one and get down to eating. She sits on a desk chair while I sit on the side of the bed. Itadakimasu. I don't like. It was 0 frames for 4 seconds. It's fucking terrifying. I don't like talking while eating, so the silence between us isn't annoying in and of itself. Stop! Dropping to 0. No, it's doing it again! Stop! I can't fucking read like this. Seriously. It's the fact that it only exists because we don't quite know what to say to each other that it's off-putting. Hanako glances towards me every so often as she eats. I only notice her doing so because I'm doing just the same thing. We're eating together as if we were a couple. We even had sex last night, a first for the both of us. Something feels wrong though. Maybe that's why we can't say even a word to each other as we finish our plates and leave them in the sink. Maybe that's why we leave Hanako's room without holding hands or making small talk. Maybe that's why it feels as if we're further apart than we've ever been before. We enter the classroom together, neither of us so much as glancing at each other. Just after we do so, I realize that this may have been a mistake. Shina lifts her eyebrow at the sight, her suspicion raised. I reach the center aisle between the classroom desks and look to each other. I'm not quite sure what I should say. Does she want me to address her as a girlfriend? I don't think our relationship was... Oh, that's why this feels so strange. See ya. Okay. Awkwardly hold up a hand as we part and take our seats at our respective desks. Man, the internet's really stressing me out. It's stressing me out so much. Hang on, I want to try something. Oh, actually, it's 2. I needed to do something at 2, so I guess we'll take a short break. It'll be a short break. I just gotta do something quickly. It won't be too long. Just the usual short break. I gotta refill my water, you know, go to the toilet, stuff like that. Hopefully the internet doesn't die away while I'm away on short break. Alright, I'm back. How are you doing? I feel, oh my god, I feel so much better after that quick little break. Really revitalized. Oh shit, I forgot the main thing I was meant to do. Hang on, I'm an idiot. I have to do this, it's a medical thing. Okay. I'm actually back now. So. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoops, I turned on starting soon. Oh. There we go. Okay. Oh, I should turn off the mic for this actually. I just need to quickly keep turning it off, but this is gonna make a lot of noise if I don't. Okay. Let's get back to reading. I can't even look back at her out of embarrassment. I feel like the gulf between Hanako and me is because of me, is that? Yeah. She's neck creeping in. Shizune begins to make her way towards me, but then Muto enters the room. I'm thankful for his arrival being so well timed during Shizune and her questioning away to wait for another time. I've never been able to answer her anyway. I like Hanako, but I've never told her what my feelings for her are. Hanako never said she saw me as anything beyond a friend either, yet despite that, we slept together. Yes, you did. The bell to signal the beginning of lunch rings out. Muto was taken a little off guard, his chemistry lecture being cut off mid-sentence, much to his chagrin. For the entirety of the class, his rambling had passed through one ear and out the other as my mind mulls over the questions of Hanako. The question of Hanako. I can't get her out of my mind, and by now I've managed to wind myself up about it. I realized that she never said yes to what we... she never said yes to what she did. She didn't say no either, but would she have been able to? She's extremely submissive at the best of times, and no doubt it took her a gargantuan effort to show me her scarring. I decided to try and at least make conversation with her. That would be best than the monosyllabic communication that's been the most we've managed between each other so far today. I walk to her desk intending to chat, but she awkwardly blushes and looks down even before I've come up to her. I take a breath to speak, but find myself lost for words. What in the world should I say to her? Hearing approaching footsteps, I turn to Shizune and Misha already making their way towards us, no doubt with the intent to start asking troublesome things. A couple of other classmates are looking at us and gossiping between themselves as they throw sideways glances. They must have also noticed Hanako and me coming in together earlier. I open my mouth to reassure Hanako, but she preempts me. I've got to go do something. It's been a while since we saw that. She got out of her chair and dashes for the door. A couple of the books and pens that were on her desk are sent falling to the floor in a rush. Not many people seem to care about this event. A few look around to see what all the fuss is about, but go back to what they were previously doing soon after. I'm left despairingly looking at the door that Hanako disappeared out of. The idea of running after her passes through my mind, but I'm fairly sure that Hanako can run faster than I can. And besides, what would I say to her once I caught up anyway? Eventually I simply crouched down and began picking up the items that had fallen to the ground from my desk. I feel lower in every way, reduced to this as students pass by me on their way out of the room. I feel the top of my shoulder. I look up to see Shizune and Misha looking at me curiously, looking at me, curiosity about the situation written on their face, mixed with a slightly apologetic look at the idea that they were partially responsible for what just happened. Hik-chan, if we can help at all. I just shake my head. This isn't a matter for them, and from Shizune's expression and the tone of Misha's voice, I think they know the same thing. Shizune acknowledges my response and gives a solemn bow before making her way out of the room. Misha soon follows her out, obediently following her role as Shizune's shadow. I pick myself up, books and pens in hand, and place them inside Hanako's desk. With the classroom now empty, I end up just leaning against her desk and thinking to myself in silence. It feels like there's a complete emotional disconnect between Hanako and me. We haven't known each other for all that long, and despite wanting to start going out with her, I really don't know that much about how Hanako views things. I've been studying as hard as I can for exams, but I still don't feel like I have any real sense of direction behind it. I tried to be a friend to Hanako, even if I couldn't tell her my feelings, and all we've done is drive each other apart. I couldn't even write a letter back to the one girl who ever loved me, Iwanako. What should I do? What can I do? I simply don't know the answer to either of those questions. I do know that nobody else can help me with them. Just going back to the way things were would be enough to make me happy, but I know that it can never happen. Something changed between us last night, maybe it changed beforehand, and it just came to a head then. I know that there's a wall that Hanako has between me and her. I've been hitting that wall every time I've tried to interact with her on any level. But now I'm beginning to think that I have my own wall between us just as much as she does. She had to practically drag my past out of me, and mine was much less traumatic than hers. I want to say it's because I haven't had long to adjust since my heart attack, but I know full well that it would just be an excuse. The one time I recall when it really felt like she was opening up to me of her own accord, when we were playing billiards in the city, I was the one who stopped her from going further. I want to know Hanako better. I want to save our friendship, if not begin a real relationship with her. My mind begins to tick as I sit against her desk, thinking to myself in the empty classroom that we spent so much time in together. I have to talk to Hanako. I pace around in the park, feelings of anxiety rolling over me. Every so often I reach into my pocket to take out my phone, but each and every time I hesitate and end up slipping it back in. If this were any normal situation, I wouldn't be cutting classes. Unfortunately, it isn't, and so I find myself in the town below the school at 2 in the afternoon. Ever since I met Hanako, I've been the one to initiate everything between us. The one that started conversations, went to her wherever she was, and suggested what we should do. Today, this once, I don't want to be the only one to do that. My hand dives into my pocket once more. This time, I quickly navigate to the texting menu before I had a chance to change my mind again. Hanako, if you want to talk, I'll be at the park in town for a while. Finding a last measure of doubt, I fumble my message to Hanako and press the button to send it. And now I wait. My part in this has been fulfilled. What needs to happen now is for Hanako to make the decision. It would be meaningless for me to drag her here. She needs to decide for herself whether she wants to meet me. The apple juice from the vending machine tastes awfully bitter as I swill it down. My grip on the can has caused it to dent slightly in the middle. I shouldn't be this tense, but it's probably inevitable. Hanako is dear to me. What happened in the last couple of days has put a lot of pressure on both of us. The idea of losing all the progress we've made in coming closer to one another and losing our friendship as a whole is deeply unsettling. But even then, I still don't know how close we are. We may have had sex, but before that, all I knew us to be was friends. Maybe we are more than that, but if so, I never realized it. Maybe that's why I feel so uneasy right now. I don't understand Hanako. Despite all the time we've spent together, the minutes are ticking by, and I still have no idea whether she'll show up. Hisao? I pause for a moment, almost not believing what I'm hearing. The voice I am hearing... what? I pause for a moment, almost not believing that I'm hearing the voice I'm hearing. I drop the can and stand up with a start. Oh, come on. Okay. Hanako. We look at each other for a few seconds before Hanako becomes too embarrassed to maintain eye contact and begins to nervously fidget with the roughly cut lock of hair covering the side of her face. When I went to see Hanako in her room by myself after her breakdown, I had no idea what to say. That was fine then. All either of us wanted was each other's presence. Now, though, I feel like I need to talk to her directly. I want to break down this wall between us before it forces us apart for good. Hanako, well, we did that night. How should I interpret that? Hanako stops playing with her hair and looks at me. Her head cast slightly downwards. She looks ashamed, which is probably a good mirror of how I would look now if I wasn't so concerned. I thought you might eventually go away if I was only someone you needed to protect. I thought that if I let you do that, you might see me as someone more than that. My first reaction is disbelief, but I did do it with her after all. I had plenty of opportunities where I could have stopped things, stepped back, and questioned what we were doing. In the end, though, I didn't. A horrible feeling rises in the pit of my stomach. She offered herself to me because of what she thought I wanted, and now I feel like I took advantage of her. She may have been willing, but only under false premises. I've never been good at hiding my emotions from physically showing, and now is no different. Hanako looks down once more, a strange mixture of depression, regret, and sickness written on her face. Thick silence hangs in the air, save for the breeze blowing through the trees around us. I knew you couldn't look at me that way. Hanako's words are said in little more than a whisper, seemingly directed just as much at herself as to me. In what way? What do you mean? All I ever was to you was a useless person. Just someone to protect. Someone like a child. I wanted to be more to you than that, but after so long I got used to it. The tone of her voice is unlike any I've heard her use before. She sounds disgusted, not at me, but at herself. After I came out of my room, I saw that you had started drifting away. I felt like I was going to lose you because you wanted somebody you could have that kind of relationship with. You were more quiet in school than before, and you were getting on so well with Yuko. I thought that I might lose you. Yuko route! Yuko route when? She thought I was bored of her because I wanted a romantic relationship. But we're friends, right? I wouldn't just abandon you like that, even if what you're saying was true. Friendship was something I thought I'd given up on. I stopped believing in others after what happened after the accident. Before the accident happened, I got on well with people and other children's. I didn't have many friends, but I didn't mind, because I treasured the ones that I had. Afterwards, though, I was called names by the others and teased a lot. It hurt, really deeply. The teachers tried to help, but they couldn't do much, and even many of them recoiled just at the sight of me. Among those calling me names and teasing me were the ones that I thought were my closest friends. From then on, I believed that it didn't matter if nobody else acknowledged me. All my existence ever did was make people troubled. After all, it was easier if I just didn't exist. But after meeting Lily and then you, I tried, but I couldn't make myself think that way. All that time she didn't trust me. She thought just like everyone else in her life had, that she was worthless, someone to throw away once I got bored of being with her. That hurts. That's the one kind of person I never ever wanted to be seen as, because I know being that... What? Because I know better than most just how horrible it feels to be thrown away as those who I thought liked me. She's cracked from the memories she's bringing up. I feel useless, completely unable to console her. In a strange way, though, I am almost thankful that she's allowing me to know this. The wall between us is going away, even if it hurts so badly to bring it down. Hanako, if you'd just told me... Was I wrong? Of course you... She wasn't. Hanako wasn't wrong. It's difficult to force myself to admit this, but I know trying to deny it is pointless. To me and to Lily, she was someone we tried to protect. She'd become to me what I'd become to my friends after my heart attack. A broken person. I liked her, possibly even loved her, but I never acted on that precisely because I thought she was so fragile. I mean, I don't look at you that way now. I got worried about you after what happened to you in class, and I thought I should try to protect you. When you locked yourself in your room, though, I got afraid. I thought you were rejecting me, and it forced me to think a lot about different things. I wasn't rejecting you. She blurts it out with an almost scared tone to her voice, taking me off guard. She quickly becomes embarrassed by her outburst before clenching her fists and working through what she wants to say in her mind. Hanako, I'm not baby. I am no longer baby. I want power. I wouldn't even do that, not to you. Even though I was scared, even though I tried to push you away, you still tried to get closer to me. I locked myself away because I was just a burden to you, to Lily, to everyone. Every birthday was the same, everyone doing their best to pretend that I mattered. Everyone pretending everything was alright for that one day of the year. I didn't want to exist, but they wouldn't let me. Even after meeting Lily, everything was the same. I was as useless as I'd always been, unable to do anything for her or for myself. I didn't want to be the same way to you. Lily and I were completely wrong. From what she'd said, everything we did for her, it would have only made her feel worse. Even what little I thought I had right about her was a complete misjudgment. After you locked yourself in your room, I decided to try and work out my past as well, and sort out my future. I didn't know how to deal with the things I'd lost by coming to Yamaku, so I was trying to sort them out myself. I thought it would help us become better friends if I did that. Silence hangs in the air again. I try to keep looking at her, but I can't. I feel really low. And though I want to apologize, I don't know how I possibly could. I hear her take a deep breath and only look back to her after hearing her drop to the ground. The sound of her crying breaks my heart. I know I'm responsible for this, and I know that I can't do anything to help her. If Hanako feels ashamed, then I feel all the more so. Oh, Hisao hug. Oops. Hisao hug. I rush to her as continue to roll down her cheeks unabated. Wrapping my arms around her, I don't care about how I must look anymore. I just want to be close to her right now. I'm sorry, Sal. I've messed up everything. It's fine, everything's fine. I'm the one that should be sorry. I was meddling around behind your back, and I never told you anything. I can feel my grip tightening on Hanako as my vision blurs. I can't be bothered trying to hold back now. I have to force my words out as a lump begins to stick in my throat. To tell you the truth, Hanako, I was scared. For the first time since my heart attack, I was really scared. Sao? I lost so much when I came to Yamaku. I was depending on you more than I ever thought I did. Even now, I still have that hole inside me. After losing my entire life and everyone I've known, the thought of losing you as well... But I'm just a useless... You're my friend, Hanako. You're... No, you're more than that. I love you, Hanako. I love you so much that the thought of losing you frightens me so much. Ah, this is bad. I'm really letting all of this out. I can't bring myself to look at her face right now. I'm sorry, Sal. I can't help feeling a bit happy. For so long, that's what I've wanted to hear. The last of the floodgates break, the sound of her crying permeating the air as her body jerks against mine. We hold each other tightly, connecting more closely than ever in our shared grief and our shared happiness. I don't know how things are going to be like after this. Right now, though, I don't care. There's no other person in the world that either of us could possibly share these memories and emotions with. Nobody. After dropping the dirty can into a bin next to the bench, I take a seat beside Hanako. She puts away the handkerchief I gave her to clean herself up, which hasn't helped much. Then again, I doubt I look much more presentable. Even now, I feel emptied and a bit embarrassed about letting my emotions out in public like that. It's not a bad sensation, though. I think Hanako feels the same way, too. Have you calmed down a bit? Yes, thank you. For a while, we just sit and take our time before talking again to one another. We both need a little time to collect ourselves. The weather is nice at this time of year. Yeah, it is. Close my eyes for a moment, relishing the feeling of the sun's heat and the cool breeze against my face. The weather really is nice today. Really, really nice. You know, I don't want to go back to class right now. Do you? She shakes her head as she finishes wiping her eyes with her cuff. The small smile she gives is nice and a reminder of how earnest it can be. Smiling for other people might be a completely normal, everyday thing. For Hanako, though, she smiles so rarely and so sincerely that each and every time she does it, I feel a sense of relief and happiness. I'm sorry for everything. It's okay. I think we both have a bit to be sorry for. I know that. I'm too shy. I know you don't want me to be. I don't think I can. You can change, Hanako. I know that because even in the time I've known you, you've already changed. To be honest, just being able to sit here and talk to you like that means that you've changed a lot since we first met. But I can't be like that for anyone else. I don't have any plans for after school ends either. Hanako's confidence begins to slide down again, but I think that now I can finally talk to her as an equal. I can do it because I know that we're just the same in so many ways. Just give yourself time, and I think you'll be able to achieve what you want. No, I'm sure that you'll be able to do it. I can see you've been trying, and I have faith in you. And you can depend on me if you feel like you need someone to support you, you know? But I can't ask that of you. You can, because that's exactly what I'm asking of you. I'm going through the same thing, you know. It's called love. And they call it... Hanako smiles before I get off the bench and dust myself off. She does the same in short measure. I'm kinda hungry. Wanna grab something to eat? She nods vigorously, the way she's smiling, the way she's acting, even just the general air she gives off. I feel as if this is the first time I've seen her genuinely happy. We both make our way onto the street, walking beside each other. Sarah? Yeah? I think I don't really understand you. I don't think I understand you either. I believe that's fine, though. There's not a single hint of despair in our voices. Not understanding each other is only natural. The walls we set up between ourselves couldn't possibly be broken down in a single day. But that's fine. As long as we take it day by day and try to understand one another, I think everything will be okay. As we walk down the street, though, Hanako's eyes flick to my face and back to the street repeatedly. Is something on your mind? You look restless. She slows before stopping completely. When I turn to meet her, she takes a long, deep breath, looking at my face intently. This expression. I saw it once before on her face. Just once, when I accidentally surprised her in her room. I think I have something I need to give you. What is it? You don't need to be evasive about it. I wanted to give you this for a long, long time, but now that I need to, it's too embarrassing. Don't worry, I'll accept it, whatever it is. She gives a sweet, bashful smile before taking my shoulder in her hand. Then please accept my first gift to you, Sao. Hanako? When mom characters are watching it. Well, that's Hanako route. Undusted. Whoa, is that Hanako concept art? Did you see that? She had the fringe. She had the generic Japanese fringe. Straight black hair, cut fringe. AKA every girl I've dated. We got Hanako done and dusted. Need the fringe to hide the Asian forehead. Yeah, for some reason Asians really hate forehead. There we go. Look at that. Getting more done. So what are we missing? Let me... Missing one right there, real early on. And we're missing quite a few in Act 4, actually. This... I don't know what both of those could be. I thought there'd only be one scene missing, because I was almost sure there'd be at least one missing, because we went to the city, and so there's probably one for if you don't go. Don't want to be an egghead. Yeah, for some reason people in Japan, always, especially girls, always seem to hide foreheads. I don't know why. Alright, so we're done with Hanako now. Next time we will get the bad ending for her. What is this? Oh, this is the cutscenes. Right. So next time we'll get these extra scenes. That's probably actually all related to choices. I don't know, there might be some other choices that have a little bit of extra dialogue or whatever, but Rings Route has the most choices, so that had a lot more for us to work through than this. We'll just get the other ending, get the other acts that we're missing for Hanako. And then we'll be good, I guess. Yeah, and then we'll be done with Hanako, and so then we'll move on to Shizune next. Gonna go completely out there and get Shizune. Very... still probably gonna be another completely different one before we go back into Lily, and then back to Emmy. And I really wonder the role Hanako's gonna play in Lily's route now. Since Lily played such a big role in Hanako's route, and we had multiple scenes with just Lily, like... Like, it really was like becoming friends with both Hanako and Lily. So I wonder how that's gonna work out with doing Lily's route. Anyway, so as I said, there is something more we're gonna do. I just need to set something up, so... Happy day up! That freaking scene. It got me so bad. I just need to set up a thing that I can turn on and off in OBS. And then I'll come back. And so I'm gonna stop the stream for a few minutes. Won't be too long. It'll literally just be like a moment or two, maybe I don't know how many minutes exactly, but it won't be long. So don't go anywhere. Don't go too far. And when we come back, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do anime season preview for the next season, because I used to make them as videos, if you recall. I don't know if you watched them, Toast, but you would have at least known that they got uploaded because I talked about them. Yeah, I did season previews for 2 seasons now. I did them the season before that, but the video never got uploaded. And so this time I'm going to do it via stream, you know? I'll just go through it. All the shows airing next season, because they're like less than a week away now. And since it's streamed, people in the chat can like talk with me or about the shows and stuff. It's just a preview, so thoughts and predictions and what I'm, you know, most interested in, stuff like that. So I'll see you back here for that. Hopefully you'll watch it and enjoy it. So stay frosty, because I'll be back soon. So don't get warm yet. Stay frosty. I'll be back real soon.